Okay, you just tell me when we're ready.
We're live. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the Finance Committee to order, the July 12th Finance Committee meeting, and welcome anyone that's participating by Zoom. And so we have, it's my understanding, is it just Dr. Robinson and myself?
Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
Okay. All right, then we'll go on to the proposed board agenda, the consent items by committee, if that's all right. The Infinity SQL Server CL Client Access License, the Financial Services Audit Compliance Committee. The second thing, item number B, is the fiscal year 2023 APTA membership renewal, Finance Service Audit Compliance Committee. And the CAD Search Recruitment Service, Financial Services Audit / Compliance Committee. And the Master Transit Plan Contract Award, Financial Services Audit / Compliance Committee. And these are the items for the consent agenda going forward. Is that correct?
That's correct, Director Stone. And just to give you a brief background on each of these, and then CFO Cutter would like to add anything further. The first item is merely a client access license renewal. It was a 3-year contract, and I think when it was originally brought to you, it was only approved for 1 year, but it's a multi-year contract. So we're just bringing it back to go ahead and get the additional years approval that is necessary. On the active membership renewal, that's a routine annual membership renewal.
Right. And what does that run a year?
For the Infinity,
No, for active membership.
26,000.
26,000 for the active membership.
Okay.
And Ms. Dumas has gotten a list of all the benefits that we receive through our membership, and we can distribute that to the board or do that as part of this agenda item as well, just to make sure that you're fully informed on that.
That would be great, so that, you know, our board understands what services they provide, as well as opportunities for education and that kind of thing.
Certainly.
Yes.
On the CAO Search Recruitment Service, you may recall in last week's snapshot, we made the board aware that the CAO candidate that had accepted the position, Mr. Dries from Maryland, had a health situation arise in his family, and he's going to be unable to relocate. So we are back to a recruitment for the CAO. Given the large number of recruitments that we have ongoing right now, we wanted to resource this effectively. It's really important on the chief positions that we get those filled quickly. So we're coming to you for some support to go ahead and beef up our resourcing of that particular recruitment. And then the last one is the Master Transit Plan Contract Report. We recently, the selection panel met and shortlisted 3 firms or 3 teams from the proposals received. We have interviews scheduled with those 3 teams on the 22nd, and then we'll be prepared to bring forward the recommendation to you to get that started. Very important effort. So a lot of strong activity of progress on these consent items.
Okay.
I'm sorry, CFO Cutter, I think, wanted to add some additional information.
Certainly.
Just for transparency purposes and to make sure the board is aware. On item A, this is an item, the initial authorization was under the purview of the previous interim CEO, and there was no contractual agreement that came before the board. As the board is aware, we lease servers from Infinity, In addition to that, Microsoft, of course, has to have licenses and be open to access the servers in order to render staff support. And that was only for 1 year under the interim CEO's authority. So this, as Mrs. DeMassimo said, is to go ahead and put before the board for the renewal for to ratify and enter into an agreement for the next 2 years. It's really a sole source procurement at this time, as I said, because we lease the servers and we have to have the licenses for Microsoft.
Understand. All right, Dr. Robinson, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Mr. Massimo, did Ms. Cutter want to talk about any of the other items, B or C or D?
No, she will though be presenting the next items in terms of the financial overview, the budget status and so on.
Okay.
Presentation will be on the screen short.
There we go.
This first chart gives an overview of the June actual revenue data, as well as it will be given a highlight of what the entire fiscal year 22 looked like as it relates to revenues and expenditures. The graph, you have the charts, and we're having some technical difficulty, but there is a chart that reflects the numbers, and then the bar graph shows it graphically. Okay, on the next page, we have the revenue by category. And what I attempted to do was to show you what the month of June looked like. And then on to the right to show you what it looked like for the entire fiscal year. It is the revenue numbers by category, with the revenues for the month of June totaling $1,501,914, and the revenues for the entire fiscal year coming in totaled $27,781,113. The graph also shows you where the revenue came in by category, and the largest revenue source is the Special Service District Transit Tax for the year at 51.43% of CAT's revenue.
So let me ask a quick question there, back up there. That's June was, as far as revenue, was pretty low.
It was for June, it was about 50% of the revenue that came in, which is pretty typical.
Okay. I mean, if you look at the year, the month of June was, I mean, 1,500,000 compared to the entire budget. That seemed a little low.
That's the total revenue that came in. And one reason, that's a good question. Thank you for bringing that up. You know, I've been reporting every month that we were waiting on fiscal year 22 5307 money. In the month of June, we had to back that out of the accrual simply because the grant was not executed by fiscal year end, June 30th. So that money is being moved and projected into fiscal year 23, and that's why the revenues appears much lower for
Gotcha.
June, because that 3.8 million was backed out.
Okay.
Okay. The expenses by category are same display for the month of June. Expenses total $2,300,746. The pie chart shows you what that looks like by category, with the chorus salaries and wages being the largest expense for the month of June. And that has been the trend the entire fiscal year. The graph to your right, it shows the fiscal year as a whole, with expenditures coming in at $24,226,741. And it's broken down by category, no surprises, with salaries and wages at 39%, and benefits at 15%.
Okay.
And I just want to highlight that this presentation was updated, and this is not the updated presentation. There were some updates for the simple reason that the monthly financial reports had not been included by the time the package went out. So I did make some updates to the presentation, and I'll try to walk you
I'll pull it up.
through that.
We can pull it up. Let's see.
Okay.
Do you recall a slide?
The third slide.
Go ahead, share my screen.
Okay, that slide is good. The fourth slide, please. That slide is good. Next slide. Okay, as you note in red,
I need to share.
the special district tax is shown as $4,059,460. This amount includes a projected accrued amount of $1 million. I wanted to make sure that that was clear. This is actual plus a projected accrual amount of $1 million. Holiday weekend, a lot did not hit our account because of such. So I just wanted to put that in there, that we are projecting 1 million on top of the 3,059,460. Also want to point out that the 1 million will not be exact. We will not know that until it's probably hit the bank by now, but it will be reported next month. In addition, I added a breakdown for you. The ending under operating cash balance,
Mm-hmm.
back to the previous. At the bottom of the slide, it shows the bank statement balance at the end of the month of $8 million. $829,122. We had checks outstanding, which left the balance as displayed of $8,545,070.
So that's good.
Yes, it is. Very good. Very
It's
good.
very, very, very good.
Very good.
It's great news.
It is. Next one. And this just shows it graphically, the cash balance going up and down. And in the title, this graph reflects the balances without the 5307 grant funds by month. CAT's current fiscal pathway, it looks brighter. Great news. Can we make that a little larger? Okay, much better. The projected reserve contribution will be $3.8 billion. That's the initial projection. I'm even hoping that number is higher. It's just contingent upon when these grant dollars come in. The reserve fund projected account balance after the contribution will be $7,830,000. That will meet our reserve fund balance goal. So that is just great news for CAT. And the reason it is so very important is because these are the funds that will help us prepare for this projected fiscal cliff when revenues are not going to be coming in as normal. We have an alternative to utilizing a future line of credit. So that's also great news for CAT. Also wanted to let the board know that the auditors will be on site in August next month to begin conducting the financial audit for fiscal year 22. Transitioning back, we do see some growth in ridership based upon the revenues coming in slow, but it is growing. The tax revenue is up in comparison to fiscal year 2021. Of course, the board and by now the public is quite aware of the focus on sustainable and efficient operations, and the strategies to get there, of course, is the reorganization. A FY23 budget focused on going green, connect community, open opportunities, and employee health and wellness. The last bullet on the list is highlighting the 10-year financial plan, and that's coming soon as a key component of the Transit Master Plan and implementation strategy. The human resources stats for the month of June, new hire, the public outreach and information specialists, and we had 3 new bus operators to join us. We had 7 exits from the agency, 1 out of finance, 3 out of maintenance, 2 out of mobility services, and 1 out of planning, for a total of 7. And that concludes my presentation. Are there any questions, concerns?
Good report.
Thank you.
Okay, then I guess we'll go on to the 2023 budget book status update.
Yes, I'm working diligently to pull everything together, a comprehensive document that can be utilized as a research tool for the public at large, can be used to help staff to be on target with performance measures, clearly outlines all of the changes as it relates to the reorganization. The team, along with the CEO, we're just looking forward to delivering the final budget book to you and anticipate having that done and completed by early August.
Okay,
Director Stone, that budget book status update along with some other materials that were included will be a part of the deliverable that I'll be making to the board by, I think it's August the 7th or 8th. That is a part of that progress reporting that I owe to the board contractually.
okay. All right, are there any questions or comments regarding that? I think that's great. Hearing none. Did I hear one? Or hearing none, we can move on to the FTA regulatory review.
Okay, that process is complete. We are now waiting on the final reports. The consultant that the FTA utilized asked for a 2-page history, an overview for an opportunity for us to highlight CATs, and that has been submitted as requested.
Okay. Any questions or comments on that? Hearing none. Our human resources, the HR stats.
Yes, I talked about that in the PowerPoint presentation.
I thought you did, but it's listed separately on this agenda, so I wasn't sure if there was something else you needed to add.
Well, in the event you all had any additional follow-up questions regarding that. Yes.
All right. And you feel pretty confident that we won't have a whole lot of trouble replacing the people that have left?
I really don't think so because of aggressive recruiting that's currently underway, and we are receiving applications of interest. Good.
That's really good. Okay. Do we have any old business?
We do not.
Okay. Dr. Robinson, do you have anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is Ms. DeMassimo, is there any other committee business that we need to be aware of?
There is not, Director.
Okay. Well, if there are no other comments, then I will move to adjourn the meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
And thank you all for the information, and congratulations on the strong financial statement.
Very good.
It's very refreshing to see. And for those that are joining us, this is really good news, and we thank you for watching our Finance Committee meeting.
Thank
And
you,
if-
Dr. Stone.
And if there's nothing else, we shall adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you,